Hello friends, Captain Mavic here. In this video I am going to go over some tips and tricks that I use to find new flying spots, as well as social media to find new friends and share this wonderful RC hobby. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm in Google Maps, and you can also do this on your phone too, so it's just easier to start the initial planning in your computer. So what you need to do is of course find an area that you want to fly, and having the satellite on is easier. So let's go ahead and pick an area that is hopefully free of a whole lot of businesses or traffic or homes and things like that. I'm just going to do it near where I work because I know this area well. So let's say I found an area that I want to fly. One of the things I can quickly do is I can go to app.airmap.io, and what this is AirMap is a service that is also on your mobile devices, and there's an app for that. I use that as well, and I'll have a separate video on the AirMap app. Say it 5 times fast. So I'll have a separate video on the AirMap app later on, because I can go in more detail on that, because I actually do register flights through that app, and I know it can be a little controversial, but I'll tell you the pros and cons about it. So anyway, so here we are in the AirMap app, and what you can see is different circles. Some of them are tighter than others, and over here under the layers you have different things that you can turn on and off. So most of us are just flying our RC for fun, so we can have this layer Fly for Fun Part 101E turned on. If you have your 333 exemption, you can turn that on, or if you're 107 certified, you can turn that on. So it kind of has different parameters on where you can fly within guidelines. And so I just turn on the 101 Fly for Fun. So if I zoom in, let's see, where my area, there's Noblesville, okay? So zoom in, and you'll see there's different colors. There's actually a green circle right here, and if I click on that, it pulls up what the description is. So this actually is a AMA field. It's the Northeast Side Tail Draggers, and then you can click on the link there. So it actually just pulls up their website. So let's zoom a little further north, go to where I'm at. There I am. So we're in Pendleton. And then there's 2 circles here nearby. So if I click on one of those, actually let me just make it a little bit simpler. Let me turn off the AirMap recommended guidelines. And what that does is it just turns off the 5-mile radius for the airports. So it's a little bit easier to see. Here's where the guide light's on, and here's where them off. So what this does is gives you a little tighter circle so you can better see the airports. If I click on that one, this actually is like a farmer's field, airfield or so. It's the North Lakeland, no phone number provided. And then here's a Foghorn Farms, and they do provide that phone number. So they're, I don't know I doubt if they have a control tower there, but at least you could call that number and say, hey, listen, I'm going to be flying my drone in this area from this time to this time on this date and so forth. Just kind of give them a heads up. And if I zoom in, turn on and off the recommended guidelines, you see how right in this area here there are 2 schools. So if you click on one of those schools, it tells you, oh, it's the Pendleton Heights High School, and this one is the middle school. So you're not supposed to be flying over schools, as well as national parks and quite a few other things. So check up on your rules. So in this video, I'm not going to go too much in depth into the AirMap, but what it does is it allows you to see where some airports are listed, and where the schools are listed in as far as a special guidelines and areas you might want to consider about not flying over. But anyway, so this is out there for your public knowledge. In Google Maps, what you need to do is be signed in. So I'm signed in to my Captain Mavic account. Alright, so I have the field that I want to fly at. Come up under the menu, and I'm going to do Your Places, Maps, and I'm going to create a map. So I'm going to give the map a name, New Flying Spots. And then you can give it a description if you wish. Okay, save it. So the first thing to discuss is what they call the base map. So let me zoom into my area again. So the base map by default is just the map. If I click on satellite, then this is obviously a little easier to see the actual areas that you want to be flying. Once I've got stuff marked out, I like to have it on the mono city, and it's really easy to check out your spot. That was Shadow. I guess he wanted to be in on the recording as well. Say hello, Shadow. Say hi to the world. So for example, let me go back. I'm sharing some FPV spots with my friends, and what it is, since I'm on the mono city, it's very easy to see at a quick glance where your spots are located around the city or the town that you live in. I've also color coded it according to areas that might be a little bit higher risk, like if it's around a school or something like that. I've marked it as a red, as in a little bit more cautionary when you're flying there. So for planning, I'm going to turn on the satellite option. I'm going to zoom into the area. And so by default, you have one layer. It's called Untitled Layer. And I'm going to say New Spots. And then what I can do, here's my tools. So I can either use the hand to move the map around. I can use the pinpoint so I can mark the area. You can also move it around. So let's say if I want to move it there, I can click on this paint bucket, and then from there I can change the style. You can colorize it. You can also then change your icons, and there's lots of more popular icons that you can pick from, all kinds of them. So let's just say make that P for parking. So I've denoted where I'm going to park, and then I come up here to draw a line, and I can click on an area to mark the field. Alright, so once I do that, I've closed the polygon, and I can find out that it's 10.9 acres, or the circumference is a half a mile all the way around. You can do the paint bucket and change your style, change it to colors. I've noticed that green doesn't really show up too well if you're on the satellite view, so I pick like a brighter red or orange or even cyan or something like that. So let's pick a color. You can hit the edit thing and then add more description to it. So there's that. Another thing you can do is if you hit the style, you can change the border width. So I can increase the red border, which makes it easier to see once you are zoomed out further. There you can see that it's a little bit thicker border. The other thing is you have a measure distance, so you can click and then drag and then see that, oh, that field is 700 feet wide, or it is 700 feet deep. So that helps me get a real spatial awareness on how deep or how big the flying area might be without actually having to be there. So that's really cool. Alright, so there is my spot. You can also then add another layer. And then let's say you want to continue the process. Let's move to a different spot. You can mark this area. You can draw around. I can even add images to it if you wish. And then, so now that I got 2 layers on there, you can turn on and off the different layers. So on my mobile device, what I can do is I can just turn on the areas that have already been approved, and so it just kind of makes a cleaner map. But then as you're planning stuff, you can have the layers that do different things. And then, so once you're done share with the map, then you can hit the share button. You got a shareable link, and you can type in someone's email address and then share this map with them. And you can even make them an editor too, so they can drop in spaces. And so now we've got about 6 people that are scouting around and looking for spots to fly. They'll add their suggestions, I'll update the map and so forth, and once we finally get a site visit where we approved the area that is good to fly in, I'll move it into the approved areas, and then we can just say, hey, let's go meet at number 12, on the northeast side. So here I have Google Maps open up on my phone, and to search for the spots, you can go to My Splices, Maps, and then here's the new flying spots that I created for this video. So you can see it pulls up the 2 different areas. You can view map legend, and then you can turn on and off the different layers if you wish. And then if you simply want to drive to those areas, you can tap on like the parking or whatever, and then you can hit start. You can also then share that spot if you wish, text somebody that address. And so that's how we share our maps with our flying friends. Remember, hashtag flying with friends. Tag your photos and videos. Another tip you can do is you can download the free Google Earth. It's on your mobile device, but it's also much easier to see on your computer. So what you're able to do is once you've picked some flying spots on Google Map, which is more of a 2D view, you can actually use Google Earth, and then it actually maps out kind of the terrain of the area, and then put a little marker, yep, here's where I'm going to be flying, and share this file as a .kmz file. So you can actually create your flying spots in Google Maps first, and then save them also in Google Earth, where you can actually see more of a 3D view of it, and then you can rotate around, kind of see different areas, and it gives you a much more visual on the terrain and also the area around it. So I enjoy using Google Earth just as well to find spots as well as Google Maps. Obviously you can use Facebook to find out if there's local indoor or outdoor RC clubs, events around your area. I've joined several of them here. My local multi-GP chapter is Indy GP, and that's where I do the racing as well as meet new friends. I also belong to the Round Trippers Winter Flying Club. That's where you've seen some of my earlier videos where I was flying inside the racing drones, as well as the indoor airplanes and so forth. Also part of the Indianapolis Indoor Micro Quadcopters, and this is where I met with a lot of the people that I shared the map with, and we're finding spots to fly around. So hopefully this has given you some tips and advice on what you can do to look for different areas to fly. Hopefully meet some new friends and enjoy this wonderful hobby. Thanks for coming back and watching my channel. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and don't forget to hit the notifications. Happy flying!